Welcome to Behind the Curtain, Nashville's movers, shakers,
and tastemakers.
Brought to you by Cord Real Estate, your key to the heart of Nashville. I'm Steve Luther alongside my co-host Van Hoy.
Here we peel back the layers of Nashville's vibrant scene, sitting down with the innovators, creators, and leaders who shape our city. From music to business and everything in between, we dive into the journeys that have brought them to where they are today.
We're here to uncover the stories behind the success, the passion driving their pursuits, and why they've chosen Nashville as their stage. It's about the people who dream big, push boundaries, and make this city truly unique.
So join us as we explore the heart and soul of Nashville through the eyes of those who know it best.
Well, I'll start by welcoming you back. You were gone for a couple of episodes.
I was.
Ashley had
Where
to
was I?
step in and guest host. Well, you were at funerals. I wasn't going to bring that up. Kill the whole vibe here, Van. Come on.
Oh, very literal. Yeah. Sad.
But yeah, Ashley stepped in.
It's been a rough couple weeks.
Did a great job. I thought about replacing you permanently. But
hey, I'm just here to be a blessing. So when the blessing's over, you let me know.
Well, today we are going to step into the vibrant world of Stephanie Styll, the spirited force behind Killjoy, where living alcohol-free is not just a lifestyle choice, but a celebration of health and happiness. With a colorful career spanning globe-trotting adventures and high-stakes professional roles, Stephanie has crafted a haven in Nashville that buzzes with creativity and connection. At Killjoy, she shakes up the non-alcoholic scene with flair, offering chic drink alternatives that ensure the party never dulls. Whether you're looking to swap your cocktails for mocktails or simply curious about the sober curious movement, Stephanie's journey from high performer to health promoter is as inspiring as it is fun.
I can't wait for this one.
I love that intro. Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. Well, so
got mine right here.
All right.
Yeah. Normally I have coffee, but I figured in honor of you, I should have something fruity and fun.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that?
It's a fizz. Yeah, it's a fizzy from our own Vicky Harbon.
Yeah,
she provides.
Not really a mocktail, but we'll
it was the closest I could get.
It's
okay, it's in your honor.
Thank you,
Vicky. We love you.
Well, I'm having a mock vodka here.
Shots.
Our cord water.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, you've had quite the career path. I wanted to kind of start back with right out of college. You were with the University of Maryland Global Campus, and you traveled all over the world. You spent quite a bit of time in Germany. You were in Japan for a while. My wife also lived in Japan for a few years. I think you guys talked
fluent in Japanese.
Yeah.
No.
Well, his wife is.
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, my wife is. How did that exposure to so many different countries, so many different cultures impact your life and kind of the direction your life took?
Yeah, that's a good question. I love to travel. I always wanted to travel. So I knew from an early age, I just wanted to live overseas. I wanted to see the world. And so I got that opportunity. And that through that job, I was able to, mostly through like military base type of things, but I got to see 53 countries. I think by the time I was 34.
Wow.
Yeah, which was so cool. It just teaches you the world is such a big place. We have such a limited perspective in the US, in Nashville, and I think it broadened my perspective in a way that nothing else can.
Most people haven't even been to 50 states by the time they're 34, let alone over 50 countries.
Yeah. We talk about it a lot. My wife and I, how important it would be great if more people could experience what other countries are like.
Yes.
Because I think you get in a bubble here in America and you don't realize how amazing things are here sometimes. And
dude, I live in a bubble right where I'm in my neighborhood. I think I like just.
What were some of your favorite places?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I lived in Heidelberg, Germany, where I lived, and I left and moved back there about 3 times. So that's my favorite place just on earth. It's one of those just charming, idyllic little places. There's a castle up on the hill, a river that runs through it. So Heidelberg for sure. But I love, I mean, what's really captured my heart, especially as I get older, is nature and mountains and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So any place I've gotten to go and see that, I love to do that. Switzerland, Slovenia, if you guys haven't heard, like Slovenia has Alps. It's just absolutely
Wow.
gorgeous. Yeah, I love stuff that has to do with nature. So some of the, going to like Thailand and seeing not mountains, but the beaches and all the different things was really, really cool. Yeah, it's kind of changed. In the beginning, I feel like it was cities, and as I've gotten older now, I'm looking more to nature.
Very cool.
We've got a German enclave here in the South in Helen, Georgia.
I've been
Have you
there.
been?
Oh, absolutely.
You can go down. You can tube down the river.
Yes, you can. And you
Have
know
some
what else?
salted ham.
I went there when I was pregnant and had a liter of non-alcoholic beer
Did you really?
at a beer
They have
garden.
quite the
They've got
Oktoberfest,
all
from
the
what I
stuff.
hear. Yeah,
I for real thought you were going to say Germantown. Was really
that's
bad.
probably what I would
Really?
have said. But yeah, I'm just saying, high society right here.
Yeah.
Now you talked about nature. You've done something that is kind of on my bucket list. Although I think I'm probably too old to do this now. But
You still have a bucket list. I love it. What's on that bucket
you
list?
have hiked the Appalachian Trail.
I have.
Oh,
And Helen, Georgia is right along the way.
It is.
hey.
Yeah.
So if you could knock both of them out if you haven't been.
I'm telling. I used to love me some Helen, Georgia. It's true.
I have been. Yeah.
Have you been?
I've been.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know this is all about, it's supposed to be about Nashville and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, Helen's just an easy road trip from Nashville.
it sure
so.
is.
Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes, but I was very lucky. We spent 7 months.
7 months
hiking.
Wow.
Just hiking. Yeah.
I think
long?
that'd be good for about 7 minutes.
What's the longest you've ever hiked, man?
from downstairs to up here.
Upstairs.
Ooh, that's rough.
That is a long
It
time.
was fun. Yeah.
Now, did you do it with a group? Was it
I did it with my husband.
okay?
Did you take breaks?
Yes. We did it fairly slowly for how people typically do it. So a through hike typically takes 4 to 6 months, and it took us 7 because we spent a day in Helen, and then we'd keep going and spend a day somewhere else. We kind of used it as an opportunity to see a lot of things we hadn't seen before, especially up in the Northeast, which neither one of us had spent a lot of time there.
So is this like camping all along the way, or is this like
we would go out
staying
for
in
like
hotels,
maybe
or?
5 days and do camping, and then go and spend one night in a hotel, take a shower, restock up on food, and then head back out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how did that impact you? I mean, it's got to be a lot of quiet time, and I know you're with your husband, but still, it's it's a time of reflection and solitude.
I mean, it's great. It's beautiful. It's a good way to be. It helps you kind of just reset to how maybe humans are supposed to be. We live in this fast
grounding
society. Yeah, definitely grounding. Like,
yeah.
You don't even really notice it. Like, it just feels normal. And then you come back into the world and it's like, oh my God, there's so much noise and activity and cars.
Right.
It takes about a week to get used to.
Did you say you were pregnant during this time?
No, no. I did.
I
hiked the trail. No, I hiked the trail.
Did I make that up?
Totally
I thought I heard
no.
that.
We went to Helen along the trail, which was in 2016.
Okay.
And then we did a little road trip in 2019 when I was pregnant, and we went through Helen again. And I just remembered that they had non-alcoholic beer because that really wasn't a thing that was on my radar.
I was
other than
two
when
together.
I was pregnant. So.
I wouldn't normally ask about pregnancy.
Yeah. No, I was not pregnant on the trail.
That would have been really impressive.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? Yeah,
I don't know that I would recommend.
Now, would you do it again that same way where you do it all once or?
Probably not. If I had it to do over again, I'd probably do it in sections. It's just too long. But being out for a month or two, I could probably go do that anytime.
Wow.
So I love to hike and I love to be in nature. We're training for the Grand Canyon. We're going to hike it rim to rim. So I did 22 miles on Sunday.
Incredible.
Oh, that's a lot of walking. It's a lot of walking.
I'm impressed. We haven't even talked about mocktails yet, and I'm sitting over here impressed.
So you are also a VP with Hands on Nashville, which is an amazing organization. We've done a fair amount of work with them. Back after the floods, they were really involved with a lot of the work that was going on downtown. What what did that role, what effect did that have on you, your sense of community? And
Yeah, I mean, I loved working there. The reason I wanted to work there is because they touch so many different positive things that are going on in
Mm-hmm.
Nashville. They're partnering with about 300 other nonprofits. So I got to know just so many people whose mission in life was to do good things here in Nashville. And
Right.
right.
that, I mean, that absolutely fills you up every single day just talking to those people.
Mhm.
Um, so I did fundraising and communications for Hands on Nashville, and it was awesome and got to help people volunteer and be involved in stuff. But 2020 was a very hard year, and of course, having that big tornado in March,
Yeah.
Hands on Nashville was activated for disaster for the first time since the 2010 flood,
Mm.
and yeah, it was very stressful. And then, of course, right on the heels of that was the pandemic. And if you'll recall, I was pregnant in 2019, so I have a newborn at home.
Right. Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So you go from that to your latest endeavor here, Killjoy. Talk to us about what made you take that leap.
Sure. Well, it was 2020. So I have a newborn at home. I'm 39 years old. My life is as stressful as it's ever been. Like we're
Mm.
responding to this tornado. There's just so much going on. Then the pandemic happens. And how do I deal with all this stress? Pretty much the same as everybody else. Just get you a little alcohol and kind of take the edge off. So, I was a person I've always been into wellness and trying to take good care of myself. And this is my first child, so I've never been a parent before
Oh, yeah.
either. And of course, he's very, very young, so it's, he doesn't really interact that much. But I realized, like, wow, it's going to be harder and harder to get up in the morning, and like, is this how I want to show up in the world? And so I made the decision on my 40th birthday, which was in 2020, to quit drinking. And that was what has led to this decision, because once I did that, I realized, okay, well, that's fine when I'm at home alone during the pandemic. Like it's whatever to drink water and tea. But then
Sure.
you go out to a party again where everyone's drinking and you get back in these social situations and it's a little bit awkward.
Mm.
And I didn't really know how to navigate that until I discovered alcohol alternatives, which I really, like I said, I had a non-alcoholic beer when I was pregnant, but like one when I went to a German restaurant, it just
Right.
wasn't really on my radar. And once I started to experiment with the products, I was like, these are amazing, but
Mm.
they're very hard to find. And I would have to go like to every liquor store in town looking for, you know, something that I never tried. And then the staff there, of course, they never heard of it. They don't drink it. They don't know. So I was frustrated and I thought, man, it would be really great if there was a place you could go where people knew about this and they could help you. And maybe there wasn't alcohol because, if you're trying to quit alcohol, going to every liquor store in town is
Sure.
maybe not ideal. And so I just kept thinking about it and this whole concept that, we need to think about alcohol differently. And I became a little bit obsessed. I started working on a business plan, started to try to figure it all out.
I love it.
Um, and eventually, the way that it actually happened was I started doing pop-ups. So my friend owned a coffee shop and he was tired of hearing me talk about this. And he said, why don't you just come use my coffee shop and do some pop-ups?
Mm.
We did that in January of 23 and they were hugely successful. And there was a little space right next to the coffee shop that was for rent for month to month. And I was like, well, here's a real low risk way to test whether this is
Yeah.
actually going to work.
Yeah.
And so we opened up our little shop and it's been over a year, which is crazy.
Incredible.
Now, did kind of your world travels and your community involvement impact how you structured the business and just kind of the culture of the business? And
I'm sure in some way it did, but I don't know whether it did intentionally or not. I would say being part of the Nashville community and having so many friends and supporters in the community has definitely helped. I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of people from the nonprofit world,
mhm.
from my family and friends, and people who've supported me because you mentioned all the random things I've done, but
Right.
hospitality is not one of them.
Okay.
So this is a big left
Yeah.
turn for me. And I have relied on a lot of friends and family for advice and support and things like that. And they've really come through.
Good thing you're like in the hot seat of hospitality.
Yeah.
Nash Vegas.
No, I have not been to Killjoy, but
We need to go.
we need
Yeah.
to go. But what's the vibe there? Like, does this feel like is it like a bar that just is non-alcoholic drinks? Like, what's the
Right now, it's just a shop, so
okay?
it feels like kind of like a small boutique liquor store.
Okay.
And I mean, our vibe in general is fun. Our vibe is you're welcome here, whether you drink, whether you don't drink. You know, we're not preaching anything about lifestyle. We're just like, we want to introduce you to fun, non-alcoholic beverages.
Are you
But
served there, or is it to buy it to take home?
right now, it's just to buy it to take home.
Okay.
But there's a gallery space outside of our shop where we do host events.
Oh, okay.
So we have hosted on average about one event a week. And so when we do that, then we serve drinks. And so
No samples. It's not like Costco where I can come through and shop
is,
and then there's a little sample.
It is like Costco.
Oh, okay.
If Costco were tiny.
Yeah.
We keep sample bottles of all the spirits open all the time.
Okay.
And let people sample those. So you can come in and have 15 samples.
I love it.
We're nicer than Costco.
Hey, wow. Costco's pretty
That's
nice.
our new slogan. Nicer
than Costco. I mean, if you said Walmart, but wow.
Well, I don't know much about non-alcoholic drink. I don't drink alcohol either, but I mean, I drink water.
Yeah.
And tea, lots of tea. What are some of the options for non-alcoholic beverages?
At this moment, it is wild. Pretty much anything you can think of that's alcoholic, they can make a non-alcoholic version of it. So our shop is divided up. We have wines. There's all the wines that taste just like the wines you know.
Yeah.
Most of them are de-alcoholized, so they make actual wine and then take the alcohol out of it.
Cool.
There's especially, like, in my opinion, really wonderful champagnes and things like that. And then there's spirits, all the spirits. There's traditional spirits like rum, tequila, whiskey, gin, that are going to try to mimic those actual flavors that people know and love. So if you wanted to make a margarita, say this weekend, you could get a non-alcoholic tequila, put it with a margarita mix, and it's going to taste, I mean, I would challenge anyone to know the difference with that.
Wow.
Do you ever do like the hidden taste test thing? Like,
Ooh, Coke and Pepsi back in the 80s.
We should. I haven't done that. In general, I mean, you'd have to find a drinker and trick them as opposed to a non-drinker.
I mean, we're right here on Music Row. We can do this right outside.
Yeah,
we literally could open the doors. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have taken a 12-pack of non-alcoholic beers, like a mixed pack, and put them in a cooler at a party, and I watch people pick them up and drink them, and like they have no idea.
That's so good.
And I didn't do it I brought them for me, but
were they drunk first?
I don't think so. The craft beers are so good, and there's so many different styles of craft beers now. Nobody knows what the heck anything is. So like, I don't think they knew. I really don't. And a lot of the stuff isn't glaringly non-alcoholic.
Is it insanely expensive?
It is about the same price as alcohol.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much everything. People are very surprised, especially by the cost of the wines, because they're the same price or more expensive because they're de-alcoholized, and then they have to fidget with them a little bit to get the flavor right. So it's like they're doing the whole process plus more, plus more.
So if I wanted to buy a bottle of red wine that's not alcohol, what's it cost?
I would say for a good one, $20 to $30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, drinking is largely a social thing. When you're doing these events, is there this sort of sense of community that you're trying to create, or?
Yeah, that's really important to me. So I think from the Hands on Nashville or whatever, but building that community. Because another thing for me is I'm not a person who thinks of myself as a recovering alcoholic. I think of myself, I don't really have a label, but if I did identify with one, I would probably say gray area drinker, someone who I didn't drink all the time. A lot of times I drank really responsibly and occasionally not so much. So I didn't work any kind of program, I just quit drinking.
Right.
And there's not really a place for someone like me to go. I tried going to an AA meeting and I was like, oh, this isn't where I'm meant to be.
Right.
Okay. Where am I meant to be? There's nowhere. And I'm finding that there's more and more people who resonate with that, or who are sober curious right now, because there's so many studies, there's so much data coming out about how
good
harmful,
line. Sober curious.
Yeah, how harmful alcohol is to your health. So a lot of people, just for health reasons, are trying to cut back. Where do you go to find people to hang out with who aren't drinking, who are thinking the same thing? There's nowhere.
Right.
So for me, building that community and having a place that people could go, even if it's not every day, was hugely important. So we've tried all kinds of different events, and it's been amazing to watch the community grow. We did an event last week at Warner Park. We had a full moon hike outside at night, and then, of course, it was a hike. And then we had mocktails afterwards and sat out there outside of the nature center. And there were a lot of people I didn't know, but there were quite a few people that I did know, and those people also knew each other because they've been coming to events. And so there
Love
was
it.
definitely a feeling of like familial, warm kind of a feeling. And so we do a lot of events where we do encourage people to get to know each other. And I personally, it really matters to me. So if you come, I'm going to say, hey, Steve, let me introduce you to this person because I think you guys might have something in common, and try to build that connection for you if at all possible. So I care about that a lot.
Are they all super sweet?
The people?
The drinks?
Oh, the people are.
I mean,
No, in general, our drinks are almost not sweet at all.
Really?
Occasionally I have someone come in and go, I want something super sweet. And I'm like, you might be in the wrong place because, I mean,
fruit juice.
If people want juice, they can go to the grocery store.
Right.
In general, the flavor profiles are definitely much more bitter, spicy.
So nuanced.
Yeah, nuanced, complex, sophisticated, that type of a thing.
I love this. Why haven't we been there yet?
Well, and
I
when we were talking about
didn't
spirits,
know it existed.
I didn't. Well, that's the thing is people have no idea. So with spirits, there's ones that are mimicking traditional spirits.
Right.
Now there are a lot of new spirits that are coming out that are just kind of their own thing.
Gotcha.
And those are really interesting and picking up in popularity. And in addition to that, many of them have adaptogens in them. Are y'all familiar with adaptogens?
I am not.
No idea what that means.
Yes. So
I'm learning all kinds of new things today.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
I'm adaptogen curious.
Yes, you are. A lot of people are. Right
AC.
now. So this is any kind of plant or mushroom that's going to help your body adapt to stress and feel good, basically. So some common ones you've probably heard about: ashwagandha, L-theanine,
Yeah.
magnesium, things like that. So when you have a drink with something like this in it, it's actually going to promote health, actually going to make you feel good. Fortified. And there's different ways. Like if you come in and you say, I really want to feel chilled out, I really want to feel relaxed, I can help you find a drink for that. If you're like, I want to feel a little bit more social, I want to have a little bit more energy when I'm at a party, we can find you a drink for that.
Which is why a lot of people drink anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, or both, have one of each,
Wow. So this isn't CBDC, whatever. It's something else.
This is not CBD. This is just adaptogenic beverages. However,
I just threw out a bunch of letters. I don't know what I'm saying.
You're like
do sell.
going to cryptocurrency.
I know. I don't know why I just said that, but you know what I mean.
But we do sell drinks with CBD in them, as well as kava, which is a kind of an adaptogen, and hemp THC products.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, from what I understand, this is like gaining momentum. Like this is a trend.
It's a big trend.
Like what are you anticipating? This to become like. Where's this trend headed?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so there's a lot of places I could take this right now, which is I'm at an interesting crossroads, and I'm trying to figure that out. But the community aspect.
You got a backboard here.
Okay.
Throw it against.
Well, the community aspect is what's really important to me. So we are currently in negotiations for a space in East Nashville that we are planning to open,
naturally,
of course, that we're planning to make into a dedicated bar space. And I believe it will be a coffee shop during the day, a bar in the evening, and it will also have the little bottle shop component as well. So the retail space, it'll all be all three in one, coming in 6 to 12 months from now.
Are you gonna do this like a speakeasy? Like, is this like are you familiar with Green Hour?
Yes.
Is it gonna be like that where
I haven't figured out all of those details? Like, will it go from what will the transition from day to night look like? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. Yeah.
Now, are you? I mean, there are places you can go. Obviously, that they do have some mocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, looking at trying to get into some of the other establishments in Nashville, or?
No, I mean, so because we don't create any of our own products, I work with a lot of restaurants and help kind of educate them on what all is out there. So we do have a lot of folks from restaurants coming into Killjoy, and we are supportive of that. But in general, they would just buy the products, from the distributors. So it doesn't really work like that. But we did do a collaboration with Henrietta Red about 2 weeks ago, where we helped them create a mocktail menu, and they promoted that for about a week, and they had bottles for sale in their restaurant too. So that was really fun.
Cool. Have you done any talk shows?
Any talk shows?
Yeah, well, you get on there and show them the latest drink.
I have been on Local on 2.
Okay. We might have to connect her with some people.
Yeah, get me on some talk shows.
Yeah,
Sounds fun. Live TV is very exciting.
it is.
So, has there been any pushback at all on this, or?
You know, shockingly, and this people often ask me what surprised me the most. There has been almost none.
I was going to say, who would push back on this?
I don't know.
People, people who don't know what it is
Look crazy,
will go, "What, I can buy sodas at Kroger. Why do we need this?" That's kind of the argument, is people who just don't understand why does this need to exist. But I would say in general, people are very much on board, and they're getting
that just gives you the opportunity to share what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's not for everyone. This is for a niche segment, for people who want it, for people who need it. We're here for them. If you don't get it, no problem.
I have your next niche group.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Sure.
So I have lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
On the, I don't know if I could, I'm just say it. On Novo Nordisk, they have Ozempic and Wegovy, and I'm on Wegovy. And one of the things that other people that I've talked with who are also on this, they can't drink. And while I was not a big drinker or anything, the people that I've known were, and they can't drink at all. Like, they just can't stomach it at all. But they miss certain
Send them to me. I can hook them up.
I'm telling you.
Whatever you miss, we've got it.
They're saying that by 2030, they think that 8% of the world's population is going to be on this drug.
Wow.
Yeah. They're saying that that Walmart and some of the key manufacturers, the retailers, whatever, are recalculating how they are going to offer their products and what products they're going to start selling in their stores based on, and they're going to have full departments just for people on these drugs. Isn't that unbelievable?
That is fascinating and not something I'd heard about.
And I'm telling you, you could be like on top of that.
Yes, definitely.
That's what this is all about.
Although I was also going to have like a lot of desserts at the bar.
That's okay. They can eat desserts, but there's it's an unexpected side effect of the drug is that it takes away. They can't stand the alcohol. It's weird.
What's the calorie situation look like? Is it similar to alcohol?
This isn't a calorie thing. This is, I'm telling you, this is a chemical.
Well, that's a question that a lot of people have, and no, it's not, because people are like, I don't just want to drink calories. For example, a dry sparkling rosé that I have has about 60 calories in the entire bottle. So
wow.
So you can just drink a whole bottle of wine by yourself.
Oh my.
No problem. It's about half as much as in a glass of regular wine. So the alcohol is a huge part of what adds the calories to things.
Nuts.
And a lot of people are drinking this stuff for health reasons. So I think the brands are really aware of that. So they're trying to make products that are low sugar or sweetened with either stevia or monk fruit or something like that. And so in general, they're very, very health conscious and health promoting and low calorie, low sugar.
You could be a non-alcoholic wino, man.
I could be.
Yeah.
Man, I got to tell my dietitian wife about all this.
It's super fun because, I mean, people who, for whatever reason, can't do it can now have something. I mean, I went to a wedding last weekend and I brought a little can of champagne for my husband and I. And when they did toast, I just poured it into the wine glasses and we had our champagne.
I love it.
So it made such a difference at that moment.
And there's no judgment on other people and what they're drinking and whatever. But it gets you in the party and
exactly.
I think that's great.
Has there been any kind of like research done to like, is this a path to getting off alcohol? Like, it's like AA looked at it, or there's like celebration recovery programs and stuff in churches.
I don't know about. I know in general, people who are in AA or in the program often avoid alcohol alternatives and find them triggering. And so in general, that's not my target customer. I think more someone who's trying to cut back or quit drinking who transitions using these products. I think they're really, I mean, from a totally non-scientific standpoint, people are coming in every day telling me how much it helps. because maybe they didn't actually ever really need the alcohol. They just wanted the ritual.
Like my coffee ritual.
Yes. I mean, I often talk about when my son was about 1, we would drink coffee every morning out of mugs, and he was like demanding a mug. Like he wanted to participate.
Hello.
So we got him a little tiny mug and we just like put some milk in it and say, okay, we're having our morning coffee. But like before he had words for it, he wanted the same kind of cup, the same kind of drink that we were having. And I think that's very much in our human nature. We've always had like tea ceremonies and rituals over beverages. And suddenly, if you decide to stop drinking, oh, now you're like outside of that and you're having water in a plastic cup while everyone else, toasts with the champagne flute. And that doesn't feel good. But if you can have something that tastes just like champagne, hey, now we're doing the thing.
Right. Man, it's like Rodeo Drive. Champagne! Champagne!
Oh, and it's so fun because I'm like, champagne in the morning?
Right.
Sure. Like
mimosas.
Yeah. Go nuts.
Mimosa in the morning.
We have to do the taste test thing out here.
Yeah.
We have
We have
to
to make that happen.
We've got to do it.
That would be so fun. What do you have any fun events coming up? Like, what do you have coming up?
We do. We have an event this weekend on the 5th that we're doing with Lolu, and it's going to be a cold plunge and breath work and tacos, and there's going to be 3 non-alcoholic beverages to go along with it. So that's going to be really fun. On May 11th, we're having a comedy night. So we're going to have a bunch of comedians come.
Oh, wow.
And that is a Cali Sober event, which means we're actually going to be sponsored by the brand Cali Sober. But do y'all know what that means? Cali Sober means people don't drink alcohol, but they do imbibe THC.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, so that'll be a Cali Sober event. Then on May 15th, we're having the Great Curious Cocktail Party. There's a brand called Curious Elixirs, and they're doing like 100 parties in 100 locations from coast to coast. So we're Nashville's location for that. So that's a free event that anybody can come to, and it's going to have free drinks and
What's
snacks.
the date on that?
It's May 15th. So it's a Wednesday from 6 to 8, and there will be a nationwide toast at 8 p.m.
This is probably airing after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. These are all of our May events. Sorry.
This is all the stuff that happened a long time ago, just...
You missed it already. Sorry.
Look at Killjoy's Instagram, Killjoy_Nash, and you can see the latest events, which I'm sure there will be lots of fun ones.
Right.
Just like these.
We'll have a link in the...
Yeah, we'll put a link in the caption for sure.
Now,
this was your first kind of entrepreneurial thing.
Yes.
What was that transition like? How's that been?
It is absolutely what I meant to do. I can never go back to having a regular job again. I love it. I was meant for this. The thrill and excitement of not knowing what's going to happen.
You come alive talking about it.
It's totally for me. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner, but I wasn't ready. I didn't have the cause, whatever. So here I am.
What advice would you give other people that are thinking about making the switch?
Ooh,
like if you knew now, what
I mean, I think just
getting... if you knew then.
You knew then.
What you know now.
Yeah.
Oh.
This non-alcoholic water got to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think a lot of things. Number one is that...
Tell us. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah. If you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, I think if you want to run a business, then that's great. Then 100% do it. And just try something, figure out what works and make adjustments. You can iterate and make changes, but I think getting started and getting that momentum is really hard. If you're just really good at one thing, maybe you don't want to be an entrepreneur. Because then you're going to have to run a business of that thing and maybe not get to do that thing.
That's right.
So that's my advice if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. If you want to run a business, which I love running a business, so that is... Like if it wasn't this business, it'll be another business because I'm all about it.
Now you're very health conscious, I think. I mean, that's kind of what
that's got you
come
through the Appalachian Trail.
Now as a CEO, I mean, sometimes it's a struggle to there's just so much happening.
Yeah.
How do you balance everything?
Is there such thing as balance?
Yeah. Integration, I suppose. I'm trying to set up firm boundaries. A lot of the things that I learned about quitting drinking has served me really well in trying to prioritize my own well-being before, the well-being of the business, things like that. Putting up boundaries and saying, okay, I'm going to stop working at this time and understanding that, from from a business standpoint, it isn't good for me to work all the time. It isn't good for anyone to work all the time. You need time to integrate, to process, spend the day out in the woods. That's a valuable part of it. So really giving myself that permission and having also what I consider like my own rituals. I love to have little fun rituals that are things that I do that help keep me grounded. So that's like usually when I wake up in the morning, I have a little she shed in the backyard and I get up before everyone else and I go out there and just do a little yoga and meditation to start my day. And that if I can do that at the beginning of my day, it absolutely sets the tone.
It's the miracle morning you've been talking about.
I try to do it's my own miracle morning.
I love it.
Because I found that, for me, everything has to be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got like a little Keurig machine and I
Yes.
got like a candle and I go out there and I kind of do my little like, okay, I'm going to have my coffee and light my candle. And I just, for me, I've made it into a bit of a sanctuary and like a very peaceful event versus like, okay, I have 10 minutes to write and 10 minutes to do this. Cause I tried the miracle morning formula and
Right.
I don't know, it felt rigid for me. So it has to, and this I have to have the ability to kind of go, no, I don't feel like doing that today. Today I'm just going to write in my journal and sip my coffee and watch a sunrise or something. But having a few moments to myself to kind of gather and do that is something I've been doing for years. And I feel like it really, really helps. When I don't do that, I definitely feel a little worse for it. And building in and knowing that like exercising and eating well are things that enable me to function well. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to keep going. This is
true.
This is an endurance sport for sure.
Absolutely. I love the integration thing. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Trying to integrate things back because
I think you're doing it well.
You having trouble with work-life balance?
He's just glad to be alive, right?
Work balance.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. I died.
Yeah, he did. You did. It's a whole nother story.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, you at 40 you went off alcohol. I had a spinal cord injury and he died. So,
Well, I wasn't 40.
Well, I was 50, but I was going to leave that out, but yeah. It was the same year that she turned 40, but
Well, okay, that's fair.
Just going to leave that part out.
It seems like we're all doing pretty great now though.
But yes, we are.
No complaints.
We're very thankful.
No
we have a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
Where are you located currently?
We are in the Wedgwood, Houston neighborhood, kind of near the soccer stadium.
Yep.
We're right off 65 at Wedgwood.
Okay. When will your East Nashville location be opening, do you think?
6 to 12 months.
Okay. So for now, come to WeHo.
Yes.
And keep an eye on your Instagram. Is there any other places people should look?
We have a website, killjoyclub.com, where you can see all of our offerings and you can sign up for our newsletter, which is kind of the same stuff that's on social media. But if you're not on social media and you don't want to miss anything, then get on the newsletter. I try to send one a week, but I don't actually send that many usually.
Do you ship products? Like if they don't live in the Nashville market, do you ship to?
We do.
Outside of town?
Yeah, we do.
Very good.
Now, I have to ask the name Killjoy. Did that come from the military bases and stuff?
No, you're probably think a lot of people have asked if it's the thing you see is Kilroy was here.
It is Kilroy.
It's Kilroy. Yeah, it's not Killjoy.
It's not Killjoy.
I thought it was like take out the joy of alcohol or something. I don't know.
It's just kind of a joke that I think people think if you're not
Killjoy,
drinking alcohol, that you're a
not
Killjoy.
drinking,
And I thought it was funny, and that's about it.
I love it.
I still think it's funny.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
I had to put a big giant exclamation point,
Yeah.
Because they tease me about my exclamation points, but yeah.
I love an exclamation point.
Absolutely.
I have to go back and take them out of my email.
Maybe even 2.
I don't like 2. I like 3.
Oh, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, it's been a pleasure having you here
yes,
today.
It has.
You guys need to all go out and check out Killjoy and go have some non-alcoholic beverages.
Come party with us. We can't wait.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
It's a fantastic day.
We'll see you guys next time. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Behind the Curtain, Nashville's Movers, Shakers,
and Tastemakers.
We hope you've been inspired by the stories of passion, perseverance, and innovation right here in Nashville.
A big thank you to our guests for sharing their journeys and to you, our listeners, for joining us And of course, our gratitude to Cord Real Estate for making this conversation possible.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform.
Thank us.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I guess I did. Well, thank us. Okay.
Like I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe on your favorite platform to catch every episode and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more fascinating guests lined up, ready to share their insights and inspirations.
And we love hearing from you, so reach out to us with your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for who you'd like to hear from next.
Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and making your mark in Nashville.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember,
I'm talking to Casey
it's
Kasem.
the people behind the scenes that make the city shine.
I love it. Take care. See you behind the curtain.